Okay, this is the initial project meeting for the two topics or the two projects actually. One is the topic is the multi-cell voltage monitoring for lithium battery pack in electric vehicles, and the second one is 18650 into 18 cell measurement using LTC 6813. This is actually the IC name. 18650 is actually the size. Now for those who have, I don't know how you have selected this project over here. There are two things about this very good project over here. One is the bad, one is the good. So let me start with the good thing over here. The good thing is this about this project. If you have selected this project over here, that you will be actually only designing this project. And as far as the cost of this project, that will be borne by me, because this is not actually a stuff which is going to be available at Hall Road. So all the ICs and all that stuff is going to be borne by me. So whatever project you are doing over here, the cost will be borne by me, the PCB and all that stuff over here. The bad thing about this project, which is exactly not bad, but it's actually just a part of this project, is this: that the exact thing which we are demanding from you is actually has to be international standard, and that's why we have shared this schematic diagram of actually a practically available output board available. Now, coming to the project over here, what we actually intend to do, or what we actually want from you, is this: that I hope everyone can see this screen I am sharing over here. Let me share my screen actually. Yes, this is my sharing screen. Now, there is a big craze of electric vehicles now, and everyone wants an electric vehicle. In every nation actually has a craze for the electric vehicles. So what happens actually, you have to make an electric car, and when you want to make an electric car, I hope you can see this screen over here. I have shared this one over here. So when you want to make an electric car, you have to use the best battery, which has the best power density, which is actually lithium ion. So, and lithium is used from the last like 10, 15, even 20 years plus over there, and it's in your mobile, it's in your laptop, it's in your every gadget, whatever, that's a handheld gadget over there. So the cell which is actually used in the Tesla car, we actually have a nice name given to this Tesla car, manufactured and designed in America against the Tesla, the Nikola Tesla, the inventor or the discoverer of actually the induction machine. This company has actually used a cell which is having a size of 18, or the name given is 18650 cell size, and it is called as 18650 size because it has approximately a 65 size over there, and then there is an 18 size. So if you Google it out, the length of this cell is approximately, if I'm not wrong, I'm not taking any units, it's 65 centimeter or 65 over there, and the diameter of the cell is approximately 18 That's why it is actually called as 18650 cells. And nowadays the Tesla company or any other one, they have now moved on from the Panasonic cells to another size which is called as 2160 cells, I guess, to 21650 cells over there. I'm not confirmed about it, but I have heard the news that they have moved on. But now over here I am talking about these cells over here, because I have these cells over here which are called as 18650 cell. Now, what is the problem over here? Each lithium ion cell over here, it has a voltage, working voltage at which it can actually work easily, is the range from 3.3 volts to 4.2 volts. This is the working range. By working range, I mean that in this range you can actually draw power from your cell over here. Now this is a very large range, 1 volt variation over there. Now, since if you want to make an electric car, and that electric car is going to be certainly something having an electric motor, I'm not going to go into the what type of motor and what is the schematic of that motor. We need electric power, and certainly we cannot have a battery which is just having 3.3 volt and 4.2 volt, and we can add cells in parallel. So what we do actually, we add cells in series, and then to increase the ampacity or actually increase the current, just like we do it in our home UPSs and whatever, we add batteries in parallel over there. So this time we add cells in series or sorry in parallel over there after having them in series. So what does this project actually mean? These two projects over here are actually the same thing. The schematic which I have shared with you is actually the schematic on one page is going to be done by the one group, and the other on the other page is going to be done by the other group. So this is 3.3 volt to 4.2 volt. So if supposingly assuming it that the lithium ion cell has approximately average voltage of 3.5 or 3.6 volts, so what we are going to do, we are going to, or electric car is actually going to be made in such a way that you have a module, and in that module you are going to have 18 cells in series, and those 18 cells in series are going to be in such a way that when you are going to, supposedly their nominal voltage is approximately 3.5 volts or 3, let us make it something 3.7 volts. Now 3.7 volts mean that 18 into 3.7, if you can do the calculation, let me just do this calculation over here. 18 into 3.7, this comes out to be approximately 66.6 over there. And if this calculation is approximately at 4.2 volts, yes beta, the session is being recorded, so I guess there is no issue on this one. Don't worry, even if you have some lagging in the video or whatever, the session is recorded, so it's not going to be. So when you have this 18 into 4.2, this is the maximum volt, so this is approximately 75.6 volts. Now even if you are having one module over there, this 18 cells in series, you have to charge them and discharge them. Okay, now this is one module in which 18 cells are going to be attached in series. Now what you are going to do, since supposedly I having 4.2 volts is the maximum voltage, you are getting 75.6 volts over there. So if you are going to attach something, let's assume supposedly you are going to have 6 of these modules, and you are again going to attach 6 of them in series over there, and you want to make a 400 volt or something. So approximately you will have approximately 18 into 6 over there. So you are having approximately, let me just have this one over there. So this comes out to be 108 cells, lithium ion cells over here, and they will be in series. Now for those, if you have a little back knowledge over there, let me show you what is an 18650 cell, meaning it. You all have used this cell over there. This is the simple 18650 cell. I hope everyone can see this shared screen over there, 18650 cell. Now 18650 cells comes in different size, different ampacities over there. Now as you can see in this shared image of mine, that this is having a 3500 milliampere. Some are some Chinese stuff over here coming in, they can be just 1 ampere or 2 ampere, or some very good ones. You can see the Panasonic one. This is the famous Panasonic NCR 18650 cell. You can see over here, this is approximately 3 ampere over there. 3 ampere means that they can actually give a 3 ampere current for 1 hour. This is actually the theoretical definition of this one. So when this 18650 cells are going to be connected in series, and you are having 108 cells in series, and assuming that each one of them can actually make something near about 3.7 or 3.8 or something, you will approximately reach near that 400 volt. Well and good, no problem, you have got that 400 volt. But what happens that when these cells are in series, supposedly I am just now making a small battery, and you have this one, you have this cell, and this is going to go on and further, and sorry, not about this one, this is a little. So when you have this one, and then this is going on, so you have approximately 108 cells in series. Now 108 cells in series, maybe there is a manufacturing fault in any one of them. What happens? One cell loses its chemical imbalance, and somehow it is, when it is going to be charged, it is going to be charged from something of 410, 420 or something source over there, just like the home charger over there. You're just going to plug the car and the car battery is going to be charged. But somehow after some time, as you must have experienced in your mobile phones also, that when you charge the mobile phone, when it is new, it works fine, and then you discharge it. But after some time, what happens that the cell actually does not give the same ampacity. Okay? It drops from that 90 to 70%, or from 70 to 60%, or in some area it drops. So this means that the discharge graph is not linear. So when it is not linear, So what you have to do, and when it is going to be charged, you have to charge it in some way so that all the cells are at the same voltage. Listen this very carefully, this is an important point. Now if you are going to charge each cell and you are having a whole voltage over here, so each cell will start approximately at 3.3 volt, which is the discharge voltage. So each cell is at 3.3 volt over here. Now what happens over here, that 3.3 volt, this cell okay, this cell okay, this cell okay, this goes steadily from 3.3 to 3.4, 3.5, 3.6, 3.7 and so on. But what happens, this cell, this has lost its chemical balance because it was, maybe it was infected with some a little bit heat from some part of the car, or maybe this was not very good manufacturing process was not used. So what happens, this goes to something 3.9 immediately, because it does not store that capacity, it will go instantly to 3.9 volt. Now similarly in this 108 cells, what will happen, as soon as this will go 3.9, this will go to 4.2 at very fastly, even when they have not reached 3.7 even. And if there are like many cells in this 108 cells which have reached their maximum in very fast time, so what will happen, the battery charger will actually find out, okay, now the batteries are enough, because now the 4.2 volt battery have gone to 4.5 volt, which means that you are actually now damaging this cell over here. So now you are overcharging it, now you are damaging it. The other cells are not fully charged, they are less charged. The charger will cut off the supply based on the whole overall voltage. Now with the passage of time, when this process keeps on repeating every time, you are not charging the cells which are best. So what happens, they will lose their capability of actually storing the charge, because lithium ion cells, they have a memory problem. If you don't charge them to 100%, they lose their capacity. This is a very famous problem of lithium ion, which is called as the memory gap or memory charging problem. And you must, this is a very important tip as well, if you have some good mobiles with you and they have a very good battery backup, every time, at least in 1 week, charge them to 100%. And one thing very important, in 1 week time, also make them to 10% also. Why? Because in this way the battery actually knows it, that it can actually go to the 10% and it can go to that 100% as well. Now this is a small tip. Now coming back to our problem over here, if you see over here, this is 3.3, this has now gone to 4.5, so the cells are being damaged. Now here our project actually comes in. The IC name is LTC6813-1, and I have given you a small schematic over here. What this IC does, this IC is going to actually monitor all this 18 cells. Now you can't have 108 cells measurement simultaneously. This is a very big battery. So that's why, if you remember, initially I told you that one module has approximately 18 cells in series. Now when you have 118 cells in series, now those 18 cells are going to be monitored by this LTC6813-1. Now how this is going to be monitored, I'm not going to go in that detail, because you are still a first year students and you are not going to be knowing that what a microcontroller does and how that works on, or the ADC types and all that stuff. But just for now, since each IC from this point, supposedly this will be having a connection with this IC from each and every point, so that you can measure each and every cell. This is actually the theme of this whole thing. And if you open that PDF file which I have shared with you, now I'm opening that PDF file. I hope everyone has a look on this one. Now if you see this one, on this LTC6813, the board name is actually DC2350A-B. Okay, this is very important. I'm talking about DC2350A-B. Now if you see in the center of this total picture, the first page, this is called as the LTC6813. This is a 64 pin over here. That is actually IC coming in TQFP packaging. The data sheet is also there. I will share the data sheet with you just now as well. And if you see over here, the C18 cell name is here, then there is S18, then there is C17, then there is S17. Now C18, 17, 16, 15 to so on to C1 or C0. C0 is actually going to be the ground. These are the cell connections, which means they are the cell connections or the positive ends over here. So the positive end of this battery here, the positive end of this battery, so they are going to be again 18 cell points. But if you see this S18, S17, what they are going to do, now this is very important. S18, S17s are actually switches. So what they will do, this IC, depending upon all the coding which is going to be done, and it's not a part of your project over here, you only have to make a PCB of this all. So what you have to do, or the IC will do, IC will have internally some switches over here, and this IC, if it will detect that okay, one of this is having a larger voltage than it's required and the all others are a small, it will open that switch and discharge that cell so that it does not go beyond a threshold limit. So it will make way for all the other good eyes over here, or the good cells, so that they can be charged. Okay, so this IC has this purpose. And other connections over here, if you see in this DC2350 board, they are just the wiring connections over there of some resistors or capacitor, as you can see over here. I hope this is very simply over here. As you can see over here, this V regulated is just the node over here, this V regulated over there, then there is an R16. Now where there is written OPT, OPT stands for optional. Okay, but here you are going to use it, nothing is optional, whatever you the board diagram or schematic diagram I have given to you. Now with this first page, this is going to be done by the students who are actually enrolled in the project that is actually related with this project number 22, that is 18650 into 18 cell measurements using LTC6813. Those ones which are with multi-cell voltage monitoring, what this actually means that you are actually going to synthesize or actually make the signals coming from the cells, because here in this DC2350 data sheet over here on the first page, there is no means of cell, there is no cell connection. You just have C18, C17, S18 and all this stuff over here. Now where they are going to be connected, all of them is available on the next page. This is a very small PCB. This is just the main connector, okay? And here you are going to connect everything. You can see they are just C18, C42, R36, R37 and LED3, R39. Don't worry, I'm going to give detail of each and every one of these what are work over there. But you can see the C18, C17, C16, C15, all of these are there, and you can see easily from this circuitry which I have shown you. If I just zoom in over there, if this is the connection with the IC of C18, when the cell is going to be working, the cell voltage is going to be measured by the IC. S18 is a switch. So what will happen, as soon as the IC will say okay, C18 is going on a higher value, so S18 switch will be on and the current will flow through this R37 resistance and through S18, and the cell will be discharged towards the ground, or actually towards C17. That's an internal schematic. I'm not going to go into that detail over there. So those who are actually working with the LTC 6813, they have this schematic over there, and those who are working with the other one, this one is actually very simple. The second page which I am showing in front of you, this cell is very is very simple over there. What you have to do, you just have to put a connector over here at this this is actually a 20 or 19 pin connector, as you can see over there, and from this 19 pin connector you just have to place this wires, you have to place this Zener over here, you have to place this C18, you have to place the C42. These are very small components, but just do. Now what you are actually going to make over here, let me show you now the important thing. Now this board DC2350, if you buy it from analog.com, who actually is the manufacturer of this IC, this board is actually available at an exorbitant price of approximately $150 plus whatever you call it, the shipment or whatever. Let me just show you what I am actually up to. Now I am sharing a picture over here. The session is being recorded, but don't worry on this part. So don't keep bothering me on this one. Okay, the picture I am sharing now over here in this one, this is actually the board which I am trying to make from you. This board, this is actually coming at $150. The total IC price is not more than like 20-25 dollars. But this is the board. I have shared the picture just now. And if you see in this board over here, this board, if, let me just show in the uh, share window as well. If you see this board, you have that same connector over there. All the resistors and capacitances, as I've shown you in the schematic, they are on this board. This is that IC which I'm talking about. These are some of the jumpers. These are some of the ID connectors over there, and this is again one small IC, and this is also one some IC. So the whole board has nothing. It has two this is RJ45 connector, the same LAN connector by which you actually run your internet if you are a hostelite maybe, or maybe if you have LAN internet at your home or something in your laptop or your desktop. So these are the RJ45 LAN pins over here. This is just for the measurement and connection to the computer. So this is just RJ45 pins. This is a small pulse transformer as shown in the schematic. I will just go in the detail as well. These are just 4 jumpers over there. This is LTC6813 IC, and these are just like some resistors, capacitances, so that you can actually dissipate that heat over there. And these are the connectors which are going to be connected with the battery over there, which is actually the 18650, 18 cells in series. And this is just the communication over there, the SPI communication. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Arduino or whatever, but this is the SPI communication protocol over there. And this simple board is quite expensive. If you get it by analog.com or maybe by DigiKey, you have to pay approximately like $300 very easily. So now we are trying to make this one over here, and that's why I have split this one in 3 or 2 parts over there. Now, how you are going to know, or how you are going to study this whole circuit diagram, this is very important. Now for this purpose, the manufacturers of this company, they have given a schematic file, and that schematic file has a Excel sheet. I'm sharing that Excel sheet with you, and now this Excel sheet is shared with you in the let me just comment on, then I will open that Excel sheet in front of you. Okay, now that Excel sheet is there. Now I hope everyone can open that Excel sheet in front of you. If you open that Excel sheet, I have made some markations on this Excel sheet over there. Whatever is given in that schematic PDF file, it is explained over here, that if it is called as C1, C17, C19, C20, C21, it's actually a capacitor, 0.1 microfarad. Okay, X7R, don't worry about this one. This is actually just the name given by the Murata company, so this is not something. 25 volt is the rating of that capacitor. 10% means that this is the tolerance over here. 0603 is actually the size. Okay, I hope you have not done anything up till now, any PCB with 03, 06 size, because practically in Pakistan you don't have 06, 03. In fact, it is available, but not with some that much variation or variety over there. But you can see C1 to C34, it's just capacitor, 0.1 microfarad, and the packaging is 0603. You already know what is 0603, so this is there. Then the next one, if you see C6, C7, C8 and C10, it's actually a 1 microfarad capacitor, 16 volts, 10% tolerance, 0603 again. Then there is C3, C5 over there. This is capacitor, and there is written optional, OPT. Now for this one, wherever there is written as optional, please use over here 1206 size. This is very important. Please use 1206 size. I have forgot to actually edit it over there. So this is 1206 size over there. Then if I go on further, there are other capacitors over there. You can see the manufacturer as well. If you just, now for those who are a little skeptical that this is going to be very difficult, very easy way, the manufacturer part number is there. Supposingly I want to find out, okay, what is this one? What is this 1 microfarad, 16 volt, 10%, 0603? This is the number of manufacturer part number. Just copy this manufacturer part number, go to maybe some Google page and just write this down. As soon as you will write it down, you will see that if you go on the, not on the images, you see this is the same link over there. Just open this link and you will have an idea. The first page is actually coming from the Murata website. Murata is a very good manufacturer of SMD and many connector components. So what is this? As you can see, this is just the shape. This is a simple capacitor, and you can see the length, the width and thickness and all that. So actually in Pakistan we don't have any nomenclature over here. Whenever we want to buy anything, we just go to Hall Road and we just buy, okay, we need a IC, or we need a 0805 capacitor over there. But in West they have a very good stock keeping over there. Everything, even a small screw or a screwdriver, whatever they want to use it, they always have a part number. So whenever they are actually, that's why actually we have, whenever we hear about any Boeing or any Airbus manufacturer, they have like thousands or millions of parts, or even they name or they give a number to the screw even that is used anywhere, maybe in the seats or whatever. So that's why they have always a store keeping, manufacturing or part number over there. So this Excel sheet which I have given to you, this is a very good way in which you can find out over there. Now one thing or some things which are very important, which I want to clear in this whole Excel sheet over here, which I have marked over here. Some of them here are not required by you. You don't want them. One thing very important. If you see over here, this is E1 to E12. This is test point, turret, mother hole. This is literally not required from you. So you can actually just make it. This is nothing. So it's having nothing with your circuit diagram over there. If you see the other ones, this is JP1, JP2, JP3, JP4. This is written over here. This is connection header 1 cross 3 2 mm phosphorus of bronze, and the company name is Sullens NPR, and that is done. I just searched it on before your just class, and I found out that this is actually, let me just show you what I'm actually talking about. Let me, okay, this is that same jumper, if I'm not wrong. Let me just confirm it out. Okay, this is that Sullens over here. Let me just confirm it. Actually this is, yes, no, sorry. Okay, this is that this actually, I have so many windows opened over here, and that's why this actually comes a bit difficult. I'm just searching it again so you can see. Okay, this is a Sullens connector solution. You can see over here what this is. As soon as the image appears in front of you, you will understand what I'm actually talking about. This is a male header. Okay, so don't confuse yourself. This is just a male header. As you can see in the picture I shared in front of you, the picture of the same board over here, which I have shared in front of you with this project over there. This had a simple board over here. This one, these are jumper wires. If you see, if you can Google out the best picture image quality of this one, this actually blurs when I zoom it in. So if you see over here, these are just jumper wires, just like the hard disk jumper wires. If any one of you has used the master or slave over there, these are just male headers over there. So when you are having this male headers over there, so when these in the Excel sheet are just connection headers. One thing very important, here they have written it 2 mm. You don't have to use 2 mm, it will be 2.54 mm, the normal male header which you use from Hall Road or whatever you have used up till now in any of the PCBs. So this is just a 1 into 3. Now 1 into 3 means what? If I go in the schematic, those who are working with this diagram over here, the first page, if you just zoom in it, these are the 3 male headers. This is 1, 2, 3. Now over here you can see this blue part. This is actually just the same jumper which can be attached between any of those 3. So if you see this one, this is the same jumper. If you see it over there, so let me just give you the 360 view of this one. I don't know how many of you are familiar with this. Yes, okay, this is still not working. The 360 view. Okay, so you can see over here, I don't know how this is going to, it's not working, maybe some images required. Okay, anyway, so this jumper wire is going to be connecting that male header or female header over there, that is going to be attached over there. So whenever that schematic is there, so these are just 3 male header points. These are 3 male header points, and if you somehow want to work this board in some configuration, which I am not asking you to understand, that we just have the schematic diagram with you. You can see this pin is connected with a 1 mega ohm resistance, and this is connected with V regulated. And what is V regulated? V regulated is this pin, that is pin number 48 over there. And with pin number 48, there is also a C10 1 microfarad capacitor over there, and you can go in your Excel file and you can find out, okay, what is C10. So C10 is actually a 1 microfarad 16 volt 10% 0603. Same case, if you have seen this diagram over there which I've just shown you, there is this connector over there, this connector over here, just like a male header over there. This is just a bunch of connectors. We normally call it as the IDE connector. I don't know how many of you are aware with the hard disk, the IDE hard disk. Nowadays we have the SATA hard disk. In the previous, like 10 years back, we had IDE hard disk over there, which was run by a 40 pin ribbon cable. This one is that IDE connector over there, and this one is actually used for the SPI converter. If you see the circuit diagram over here, this is the SPI connector over there. You can see this is the 7 pin. This is not an IC. Please, one thing very important, this is not an IC. If you see, this is V in, the input voltage, and this is empty, so this is not having connection. VCC again empty. Then there is a ground, there is MISO, there is MOSI. These are actually the pins. If you can see over here, these are written over here as MISO. This is connected with the SDO, which is called as MISO over here. There is ESDA. This is other pins over there. You can just name your nets according to this connector. Now here you don't need to use the same. If you see over here, this is J3. Okay, if I go in the Excel sheet over there, J3 is actually a connector header shrouded means it's covered from the all four sides. As you have seen, it is covered with that black material. This is 2 cross 7, which means it is arranged in 2 rows with 7 pins over there, and each pin has a horizontal distance actually of 2 mm. Now since it's not available in Pakistan, so I'm not going to ask you to use 2 mm. Just use a simple male header that you have normally used. You can find it out in the miscellaneous connector library. So this is going to be 2.54 mm over there. Then if you see J4, what is that J4 over there? J4 over here is actually a connector male PCB plug, which is actually 1x19. Now what is this plug over there? If I just again go towards the picture of that diagram, this is that plug. This black color plug is that plug from where you are actually going to connect the cell. So this is also not your way. You just have to put a simple male header connection which is spaced with 2.54 mm over here at this point. So this is nothing, anything. So Excel sheet, from the Excel sheet, what you are getting over here, you are just getting that what resistance capacitance is. This whole PCBs, or the 2 PCBs which you are seeing over here, they are just an amalgam. In this whole PCB, the first one, you have just 3 ICs over there, only 3 ICs. What are those 3 ICs? One is LTC6813 over here, 13-1, which I just told you, and this IC I will share the footprint with you. The next thing is an IC which is called as 24LC025, and easily if you just go on over there, I have actually downloaded that data sheet of that one also over there. Let me just tell you. Okay, the data sheet of that IC is here with me over here. So this is actually a E2P ROM. So sometimes you want to actually control or store something, just like your mobile over there. Sometimes you want to store some password over there. So this is controlled over here or stored over here by this E2P ROM. And if you just download the data sheet, I have shown you how you can actually go inside a data sheet, go on the last pages, and you can easily find out. Now I just opened this data sheet before you were coming in this class, so you can see in this package you can actually use this simple package over there. Don't use the no lead package. This is very important. Please do not use the no lead package, which means this is actually a package something like this. It does not have any leads coming out. Okay, this is very difficult to solder. Even in fact, maybe if I am going to solder it, it will be a little difficult, but still it can be done. So here, please use this leaded package. So this is actually a 6 lead plastic small outline transistor SOT23. So this is a simple package. You can easily find this library in LTM, where there you have found out SOT, the 223, if you remember the transistor. There similarly you are going to find out this SOT23 packaging. So those who are working on this first one, you can easily find this IC. You can easily find out HM2100NL. This is a simple IC over here, and let me show you the circuit diagram of that one also. In fact, I will share that one with you also. This is the circuit diagram, this is the data sheet of that pulse transformer. Reason of using a pulse transformer, since you are just beginners in the electrical engineering, you just want to isolate the signal from the battery controller to the other interface. So what they do, they actually use this transformer over there. If you can see over here, this is a simple transformer, and this IC, 10 pin IC, as you can see 1 to 5 here and 6 to 10, it is just going to replicate. So in the circuit diagram over here, it's just going to be used for the protection over here, and where you are using this RJ45 connector, you are going to have the same RJ45 connector which you have used previously. Let me show you that RJ45 I showed you in the previous one, the same LAN connector. I will share this LAN RJ45 library with you, footprint with you. Don't worry on this one. Maybe if it is not available, I will make that for you. Otherwise, rest of the PCB, very simple over here. What you just have to do, you just have to see this whole circuit diagram and minimize the circuit. This is very important. Those who are working on this, the first page circuit diagram, what you have to do, one thing very important, you have to make a male header connection that is having C18, C17, C16, C15, 14, 13 to C0. Okay? So if there are 19 pins, make a male header connection here, and then make a male header connection from S18 to S1. Okay? So this first page will be just this thing, and I hope everyone who is working on this first page can easily do this one in the palm of your hand. The size of this IC is very, very small. I will share the schematic. I will share the footprint also. It should not be more than the size of your palm, the PCB size, because all these resistances which are on this one, you can see over here, this is connected with GPIO 8, this is connected with GPIO 7, GPIO 6, GPIO 5. This is just simple male header connections over there. You can see this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is just male header connections at this point. Rest, it's all resistances over there, and all of them are 0603, which means it's the smallest size available even on a motherboard over there. So only some resistances are. Now those who are going to work on the second page, now here there are some resistances which are of 1 watts, which means they are having a package of 2512. Some of the resistances, they are of 1206. Okay, you have used 1206 a lot, you have used 1210 a lot. Now here this is the LED. Now those who are skeptical which LED we are going to use, the LED here is also very small. It is just 0603. Now we don't want the batteries to actually discharge. If I use a big LED over there, the size of the PCB will be so large, and the size is to be reduced overall of this one. So 0603 SMD is going to be used. You can see all the LEDs are 0603 size, and if you see the other resistances over there, all of them are over there. So all the diodes which are there, they are going to be of the packaging SOD123N. If you see over here, this page number, row number 48 and 49, all of them are SOD123N. And what is SOD123N? I'm sharing another schematic file with you. So I hope, let me just actually, where is my MS Teams window? So if the SOD123N is the packaging, so I'm sharing all these details with you, okay, and you have to just go through it. Now one thing very important, since what I'm asking from you is size limitation, and you have to follow the whole schematic, so there will be a number of questions. Okay, there will be a number of questions. I know this is not, I have given you the schematic. Okay, I have given you the Excel sheet over there. I have given you what diode is going to be used. I am now sharing the HM, that is actually the pulse transformer data sheet also. You can see the footprint over there, what is used over there. Now I am also sharing the data sheet of the IC, which is actually controlling these cells over there. This is LTC6813. Now one thing very important, I previously thought that maybe I can give the another structure which is actually related. Sometimes now coming back to the IC work over there, if you remember, the IC was, sorry, okay, so for those who are a little about it over there, if you see this, okay, this is not working. Okay, now if you see over here, sometime this IC has an initial function as well. If you want to dissipate the power, you are having that 25121 watt resistor. Sometimes you can attach another MOSFET over here, and in that MOSFET, through that MOSFET, you can discharge that cell as well. Now that is actually called as passive balancing. Okay, this is very important over here. Oh, sorry, I'm just doing it wrong. This is called as passive balancing over here. And somehow if you are wasting that power, okay, if you are wasting that power, because this has climbed to 3.9 volts, this has gone to 3.3 still over there, so this is one. So you want to take this power. Now instead of dissipating it across a resistance, you can take this extra zero point 0.6 volts and feed it into the whole cell. For this purpose, you will have to make a small DC to DC converter, and that will be attached at this point. That's a little different circuit. You can go through that circuit if you are interested in, but I won't recommend it because it's a little bit above your payroll at present. So 3.9 volt, you can take that voltage, decrease it down, take that power from there and use it to sell. That is called as active balancing. So what I am doing this with this board over here, which board is called as DC2350, and this IC over there, you are being asked or you are being told that you have to do passive balancing by using this resistor over here, which I just told you. This resistor over here, this resistor R37, R43, R49, this R56, they are the balancing resistors over there. LED will always work. Okay, LED is always going to work as soon as S17 switch inside the IC is going to be turned on by the software. Okay, so we will know physically, okay, now that cell is actually being discharged. Otherwise this LED is not working. Okay, and one thing very important, this is a resistance over here, R39. Don't confuse this with this capacitor over there. Actually this is actually some mistake over here. Otherwise this is actually a resistor. R51 475 is actually the resistance value over there. You can actually see this in the Excel sheet over there. So all the data is there. You just have like two ICs over there. You just have LTC6813 over there. You have to make one board, and in this board again you will have 9 male header pins for the C ones, and then there will be some pins for the S ones, and this internal connection port over here for the J4 one. Okay, this is just a simple connection. I will share the details of this Weymuller connection afterwards over here. Otherwise you can just put a male header for this purpose over there. Rest of them all are diodes, capacitor, resistances. What wire thickness you are going to use, it should not be more than, I think so, 0.3 or 0.4 m, because here you are working with 0303 or whatever over there. So the wire thickness or the track width over here should not be more than 0.4 or 0.5. I will just share the LTC6813 schematic also. In fact, I can show you the a little PCB which I have already made for this one. Let me just show you if I can over there, because time is running out and I have to ask questions from. In fact, meanwhile I am opening this one. Please ask any questions over here related to this one. I'm sharing this stuff over here. Ask any questions on the audience. There are just like 8 only there, and one student is already waiting in the lobby. I don't know who. Bilal, you should have admitted him anyway. G, any questions? I don't know why it's taking so long. Huh? G, any questions? Any questions? Please write down in the conversation window. Faik Irfan, I can't hear you even if you are using it. Please write down the conversation window any questions over there. Anyone with the questions, please write down over there so I can have over there. Those I can share the LTC. Just let me show you the LTC library. The track width is beta zero point 0.4 or zero point 0.5. In fact, let me just confirm it out as well, because this is very important thing, because this has to be, because the power is very important, and this is actually the LTC 6813. I have made this PCB and I've run this IC as well, so it's nothing. Okay, so those who are interested in this packaging, those who are working on the IC part, this is the IC, this is the schematic over there. You can see this is thin quad flat black, square side 50, and this is the packaging. So I hope everyone can have this one. This is actually 10 cross 10 mm is the size over there. So this is that. I'm just taking a print screen of this one and I will share this one. So I hope everyone can have this idea what I'm actually asking you. The LTC library or the LTC footprint IC I'm sharing with you. This is that same IC. Now you can see what I have done. If you are seeing this overall view, what I have done, I have made this LTC 6813 IC into a DIP package. Okay, now the pins are very small, so what I did actually, I have made this over here, that is the total overall DIP packaging over here. So I can now have every pin access through a male header or a female header. Yes, beta, your question is very well valid, that there are a lot of things apart from the battery management system. A battery management system has charging, balancing, and then you have to monitor temperature, charging, and all other things. Now, if you see over here, if you have a look on the first page of the schematic, there are 9 GPIOs over there. One GPIO is GPIO 9, GPIO 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, there are additional IC, there are additional pins given over here so that you can actually put something else in this IC. Supposing now there are 18 cells, and those 18 cells, we are having 3 thermistors over there. Now, thermistor is a device that is actually going to have a temperature measurement and its resistance will change. So you can put that thermistor output, add GPIO 9, and through programming, because this is going to be done by programming. Okay, so this IC is going to measure the voltage at GPIO 9, and you are going to tell this IC through programming that GPIO 9, as soon as GPIO 9 gets this much voltage, turn off all everything. So maybe some LED or connections are there and you are going to turn it off, because this RJ45 connections or this SPI pin over here, they are actually going to do that thing over here for us, that we are going to tell the software, because this is just one module. Okay, in fact the 1/6 of a module. This is very important. Please understand, these are just 18 cells. I just told you that for a full 400 volt you require 6 of them. So just understand the size is so critical for this one, that if you have just 18 cells and you make a PCB of maybe an A4 size sheet, it's going to be so much big. Then how you are actually going to clamp all this down into an electric vehicle? So the point over here is it that since I have just bifurcated this whole thing into 2 PCBs, so you have to make a PCB so small so that it can just have this RJ45 connectors, these 2 ICs, 1 pin headers, and this IC LTC 6813 with all those resistances and capacitances included inside it. These are given over here. So you just have to overall, yes, beta, you are limited with this IC because I have this IC available with me. So you as such, there is actually no IC over here. I can show you one PCB as well if there is time over here. Actually, the time is very limited today, and 1 hour is not even justified over here for this purpose. But let me just show. In fact, I have made this IC. I have made this IC. In fact, I burnt one IC also, and that was sorry, this is still not that one. I've worked on this a lot, and actually it's a little difficult to find. There are a lot of PCBs in my laptop, and I have been working on that. Actually, I will show you. I will share a GIF image of that one, maybe on the MS Teams, or maybe I can email you all this one. So I have worked on this one. I have used this IC, and the advantage is this. Okay, you want to use AI as well. Actually, beta, problem is this that you're well and good. I like your enthusiasm on this one, that you have worked on this or researched on this one. Actually, the point is it that the skills which we have given you in this lab are these, that you can actually miniaturize things. Okay, that's why I've given you this IC or this one thing, because this is actually a use as well. So for electric vehicles, they are the next generation, and miniaturization is very important. I respect your enthusiasm that you want to actually use that AI or whatever you have done it over there, but still, I prefer those things which can be made. I just don't want to be on the software or be on the paper. I want something physical. So that's why if this IC is with me, I have those like 6 or 7 pieces with me at present. I burnt one of them due to one of my mistakes, because, but still, uh, one, you can make this one, you can run it, then maybe you can run, and you can embed AI, because the controller which is actually going to control this all. And you are most welcome. This project is still open, it's still not going to be, and even if you complete this PCB or whatever, I will invite you. If you are going in your second year after this semester over there, I will definitely invite you, that you can actually use your microcontroller, whatever that will be in your MPS or whatever, maybe in your second year end or maybe third year start, you can work on the same one. Because AI, artificial intelligence, if you call it AI or whatever, there is a lot of talk on this town at present in the town. Frankly speaking, AI is nothing. It's just if and else statement, nothing. So you just have to embed everything inside the code. Okay, it's an if else statement. Okay, the battery runs on that. Put an if else statement. If the battery goes on to 0 volt, do this thing. If the battery current is increasing, do this thing. If the battery temperature is increasing, do this thing. If the battery is getting hot, do this thing. So there are a lot of if else statement. You just have to put that. Yes, one thing very important, if that AI system can actually learn from its performance, then this means that it is actually called as a neural network. Okay, this is a totally new word, and I'm not going to drag others in this conversation, because this is now going something else over there. So that is the neural system, just like our neural system in our brains. Because I know I burnt one IC, so I'm not going to do that one thing, because I have learned it. My neural network or my brain has actually learned it, that I am not going to do that. I'm not going to attach a capacitor of 5 volts or 10 volts over there, because I know. Because let me just tell you, in fact, this capacitor over here, this one, C11 100 nanofarad, this was the main major reason. That's why I burnt my whole IC and the IC blew up. Okay, I still not confirm on it, but the most practical answer I had, because I never put a 100 volt capacitor. 100 volt capacitor is already very large. So one thing very important, a C11 capacitor. Please search, whoever is going to make this one. This capacitor is going to be 0805, and it's a 100 volt 0.1 microfarad Murata. So search this part number over here, so that you have an idea what I'm actually talking about. Okay. Ji, any questions other than this? Hafiz Musa Mahmood, you are most welcome. If you are interested in talk on this one, just give me a long mail, and maybe we can talk on this one. If you are interested, we can have another session with you, maybe on not tomorrow, because I have some other meeting, maybe day after tomorrow. So most welcome. Okay, you are most welcome. And I like students who are more enthusiastic, and who even they are beyond a leg forward beyond their scope. So I like them. And any other questions? I have shared all this data with you. I will share the, sorry, I have just given the, let me just share the schematic. This is very important. Oh, sorry, the footprint. So this is that footprint over here. So those who want to just start from day one, just now, this is the footprint I have shared in the conversation window, LTC6813. I have shared the schematic, I have shared everything over there, and I hope everyone can have a look on this one. The schematic is there. I have shared the data sheet also, I guess, over here, LTC6813 in this one. I have shared the pulse transformer. One thing very important, the HM2100NL. It's actually a pulse transformer. See its footprint. Try to find out its footprint from Snap EDA. Snap EDA is the website. I don't know how many of you are aware of this. Search on Google Snap EDA. You can find out everything. You can even find out the picture of RJ45 or maybe a connector as well. If you can do that, please share with me as well. Hafiz Musa Mahmood, if you can do that for me, it will be a pleasure. So, any questions, Ji? Any questions from the audience related to this? So, I will be grateful because I have just like 4 or 5 minutes more on this one. Okay? And both of these PCBs should not be more than the size of your palm. This is very important. The both of these PCBs should not be the size more than the size of your palm. The only thing which I have left a little open at present is this RJ45 connector. I will give you, because this is just like one wire coming in, one wire coming out. It's nothing. So don't worry on this one. This is just one connection at the edge of the PCB. And I have also not told you that this Wade Muller PCB connector, I will try to find out what is actually available locally so we can use that one. So I will give this connector footprint, or maybe I will tell that which type of USB you need to use. Okay. Otherwise, the rest of the circuit is there. Try to make it concise. 0.4, 0.5 mm is the width of the PCB track over there, and I hope so you can do it very easily. And if you see this PCB, if I just zoom in over there, the track width over here is even 0.254. So maybe not 1.4 or 0.5. You will have to use something 0.2 or 0.3, not more than this. Please rectify this thing, not port 0.4 or 0.5. So maybe you have to use 0.254 or 0.3 over here, because the pad over here which I'm using is having an X size of 0.3 mm. You can see this is 0.3 mm. So all the tracks on your PCB are going to be 0.3, except one thing very important, except for whenever you are going to have this C16 and this resistor connection, this is 2512, please make these tracks a little large. Deliberately do it, so that, because they are going to have large current, the cell is going to be discharged through this R49 or this R56, R43 or R37. So they are very, very important. So kindly do them over here. Okay, so the track width for both of the PCBs is 0.3 mm, except wherever there is a current is large. There is no excess current large in the first PCB, so almost all the tracks in this one can be 0.3 mm. So no issues on that one. Okay, but please make it concise. It can be 2-layer, no issues on this one. It can be 2-layer, but please make sure that everything that you are going to solder is available, because all of these are SMD. This is also SMD. This is going to be soldered at the bottom. The J3 connector is actually a male header connection of 2.54 mm pitch. So this is going to be soldered at the bottom, and this 24LC is going to be soldered on the top. Okay, so this pin, this pulse transformer HM, this 24LC025, and this IC, which is actually the main IC of this whole one, this is actually going to be worked over here. Oh, sorry, I actually never shared my screen. Don't worry, this is being recorded. This is being recorded, so don't worry on this one. So even I actually, you should have told me before. I thought the screen is already shared. Don't worry, don't worry. Don't worry, it's recorded. The whole recording has been going on. It's done 57 minutes 24 seconds up till now. So I've shared now the screen, but still anyway. So whatever I'm talking is done. It's on my screen. It's recorded. So you can have a look on this one afterwards. So you can see these are the these are the 3 pins over here. So just jumpers are going to be connected over there, and this resistances, and so the circuit is big. The only thing that you have to do, design it. I will give you the parts. You just have to solder it. Okay, or maybe I will help you in also in soldering, because the parts are expensive. So maybe I can help you in all this thing. Okay, so I hope you can do a wonderful work in this one. And any questions still, please. Gee, so I hope so. This is still okay. So I hope we will have 1 week's time from now on. Next Saturday, same time, we will maybe some timing it can be up and down, but we will try to have 1 week's time. And after 1 week's time, Sir Bilal will share a link with you. Maybe on Thursday or Friday, he will share a link with you, and you can submit your, yes, all this is in SMD beta. Just see the Excel file. You will find out every part number or whatever you are going to do. Everything is an SMD. Everything. There is no through hole. The only through hole components are actually that This is connector header shrouded 2 into 7, which is actually just a male header in 2 rows, 2 cross 7, as I have told you. I have given you the reference picture as well. This is the reference picture you are trying to make this one, but this is bifurcated into 2 parts. This is actually one portion, the other portion is being done by the other group. Okay? But remember one thing, size concisement is the main aim of this one, and certainly because I don't want to spend a lot of money on this one, so the size should be reduced and it should be in within our resources. So just by giving you this project, so I hope everyone can design this one with some tools or whatever you have done up till now. So any other questions, or I could just stop this meeting and I can upload this one on the YouTube channel. So all these groups who are working on this one, I have Ashar, Noman Qayyum, Hamna Asif, Amna Tehseen, Faik Irfan Rashid, Musab Mahmood, Muawiyah Dil, and Muhammad Jamil, Saim Ikhlaq, and I don't know about this Wali Bakht Barais. We have not given any email. I don't know you are here or not. Please make sure, since attendance is very important, I'm just taking an attendance just now. Even if you are not here, even if you are represented by some other member of your group, please ask them to actually go through this meeting on the YouTube channel, the recording, so that you can know that what we did and what we are expecting from you, because they are just like 8 students over there. This means that either one group is not there, or maybe 2 members from 2 different groups are not there. So I hope this PCB or this project can be done. So in 1 week's time, we expect something from you. There will be some mistakes. We will discuss them. We will give you a 2-3 days time more on that one, and then we will have the whole thing matched up. Okay. So if you have any questions, maybe from one group per person, one person per group, you can just give me a message in the chat window on the MS Teams, and that is actually better, instead of emailing me and then getting an answer, because I have to open the email and then I have to do something. MS Teams is better because I have all the questions coming in over there and I can answer it very fastly. Even on my mobile, I can actually do that. So please, any questions, ask me there, and so this can be done. Okay. So I'm just Muawiyah Adil is actually coming on now. I don't know why he actually left or whatever. Bilal, just to make his attendance, whatever, I have taken the attendance, so you can add his name afterwards. So I'm just ending the meeting now. So I hope all questions are clear or whatever. So thank you.